Okay, thank you for joining us for our BBB Flash webinar. I just wanted to make sure that you guys were familiar with your control panel on the side. There's an option there for you to raise your hand or to ask some questions. Just type the questions in on the control panel and they'll be submitted to us. And again, the little hand raise, you can push on that and it'll alert us that you have a question waiting in the inbox or to answer a question. I wanted to thank Greg Rosenberg for joining us today and presenting us with this wonderful Marketing 101. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to him and we'll get started.
Webinar. I think this is the fifth webinar in the series, and we're going to continue to do these, I guess, monthly. And again, we appreciate your attendance here today. I just want to quickly introduce myself. As Bridget said, my name is Greg Rosenberg. I'm the president and founder of Business Communication Solutions. We're a 14-year-old business communications organization focused on helping small to mid-sized businesses succeed through better relationships and better communications with their existing customers and prospective customers. So again, thank you for joining us. I want to keep this as interactive as possible, so please feel free to raise your hand, ask a question, and we'll get it answered just as soon as we can. So let's without further ado, let's get started here. Marketing your small business. This is a presentation that I've done to a bunch of small business organizations, and I want to start off by telling you what my opinion is of marketing. I don't have a business degree. I've never taken a marketing class. I've been doing this for 30 years, so I have a pretty good idea of what I'm doing. What marketing is, in my opinion, is that it supports sales, it sets the stage for further sales, helps define your audiences, and builds awareness. And mostly, I think what most of us are interested in is that it generates leads for our business. The path to success in marketing is pretty simple. First, what you need to do is to clearly identify your goals, develop a sustainable, with an emphasis on sustainable strategy and specific tactics, create a broader consumer awareness and branding. So those things are kind of the beginning steps of any kind of marketing program that you might want to do. It's really important when you're starting a marketing or any other kind of communications program to understand who you are and what you're trying to achieve. You have to really understand your value from your customer's perspective, not just yours. So it's the one thing to say, well, I'm in the roofing business, but what is it that your customers really need? Well, they need protection from the elements, they need to fix a problem, a leak in their house, whatever. Secondly, you need to understand what your key differentiators are, your USP or unique selling proposition or value proposition. Not what I've done or what I can do, but how what I do translates into something for you, a better result, a better outcome for the customer, not necessarily for you. So again, going back to our roofing example, it's not like I help fix a roof. My real value proposition is for a good price, we supply people that will help keep your home safe and obviously cool in the summer and warm in the winter. So understanding that is really important to constructing any kind of a marketing program. Thirdly is you really have to understand your market niche. So am I marketing to everybody who needs a roof, or am I really focusing on people who need repair that are in older homes, or am I looking for people that are at the 15 to 20 year point when a typical roof needs to be repaired or replaced, or is it somebody with an older home that needs a total tear off and total replacement of the roof? So most important in any kind of communications program or marketing or advertising program is you have to be customer centric. And I know that we use this kind of terminology a lot and everybody's heard it, but you really have to understand what it is that your customer needs, who they are, what makes them special, what they need from you. Thirdly, how do I reach them? Where do they live? What are the types of media that they pay attention to? Is an ad in a local newspaper? Is that a TV ad that reaches your entire market? Or is it something even more specific than that, like possibly a home building magazine or a remodeling magazine? And then fourthly, you have to understand is each customer segment different. Am I looking to just reach every potential customer that I can with the same message, or am I developing specific messages for very specific audiences? So you really have to get a handle on how that works. And I'm going to show you some tools that we use in our business to help our clients identify those things. That will come towards the end of our presentation today. Okay, so now how do I begin a program? Well, the first thing you do is build a plan. So let's go back to our example of somebody that's in the remodeling or construction business. You wouldn't go out and start bringing materials to the job site and putting them together without understanding what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So you really have to know what your end game is, what the objective of your plan is. I'm not suggesting that you want to put together a 20-page document. We do that for our clients when we're looking at broad marketing programs, but in a nutshell, a plan is something that's extremely simple. And again, I'll have an example that we'll send to you at the end of this webinar, but essentially you want to keep it really simple and precise. What is my objective? How am I going to reach my audiences? What are the best media for doing that? What are the budgets? How much am I willing to invest in reaching those customers, and not only reaching new customers, but keep in mind we always want to be able to market to our existing customers, because number one, they're a source of new business from them themselves, but probably more importantly, they're a source of referral business. So if you did a good job for somebody, the time to follow up with that is, number one, do it right away as soon as the job is complete and you know you have a satisfied customer. But on a regular basis, let's make sure that we're sending something to them, that we're having a conversation with them, some kind of engagement with those existing customers to remind them about how great you are, what you did for them, how you solved their problems, and remind them that you're always looking for referral business as well. So keep it simple, make it your own, and allow for growth and change. Those are kind of 3 rules that we want to follow when we put together a marketing plan. So message and content, and you'll probably hear the term a lot, content marketing. Message and content are extremely important when we're developing any kind of communications tool. So again, going back to our home remodeling business example, you want to segment that message. Okay, some people need a kitchen, some people need a bath, some people need something fixed, some people need something replaced. Doing an addition on a home is quite a bit different than remodeling a bathroom in a home. So you want to make sure that you have those various messages in your bag of messages, and that you're able to call on those messages at the appropriate time. Every marketing program, every marketing piece should stimulate some kind of emotion in your customers. So you want to make sure that you're creating some kind of need, not only for what you do, but for an inner need that person might have. And this is kind of a silly example, but when you're selling toothpaste, you're not really selling whiter teeth. You're selling the results of that whiter teeth, which is usually improve your relationships, get more girls or guys to pay attention to you, something of that nature, which is not really about white teeth. It's about the end game, the end result. So again, you want to stimulate emotions well. going back to our home remodeling example, I live in a neighborhood where just about every home has granite countertops in their kitchen, except for me. So I have a need to be like everybody else, to improve the value of my home. A granite countertop doesn't necessarily make for a better kitchen or a better cooking experience, but it's one of those things that is emotional in nature. It says, hey, I'm like everybody else, or hey, my kitchen's nicer than yours is, something of that nature. So don't think for a second that the end game is to have a better counter so my kitchen works better. The end game is to fulfill all those other needs that customers might have. Solve problems or create a need. Something that's really important. Again, going back to my home remodeling experience, I think I kind of went through this already, but creating a need for fitting in with my neighbors, for increasing my home value, for making my wife happy because she has a nicer kitchen. So that kind of explains bullet point 3. Answer concerns that people might have. Why should I trust you? What have you done for other people that makes me want to do business with you? And then lastly, tell them what's in it for them. I think everybody's probably heard the term what's in it for me or with them. Well, this is what's in it for them. It's all about getting a result for your customer, not a result for you. Now, what a good marketing plan needs to accomplish is clarity of message, consistency. I'm going to use the same message for the same audience over and over and over again, and commitment. It's a long-term investment. Don't think that if I buy a full-page ad in the Wall Street Journal that I'm going to wind up with tons more business. If I buy a quarter-page ad and I do it 4 times, I'm likely to have better results than if I buy a one full-page ad in a newspaper, in a magazine, on a billboard, on a bus, whatever the case might be. So long-term repetition is probably more important than the size of a marketing piece. Obviously, if your budget allows it, bigger is better, but not to the exclusion of being able to afford to repeat that message over and over and over again. And then balance of media. I often get the question especially from new clients, what's the best place for me to be? What's the best place for me to advertise? How will I reach my audience? Well, the answer is in as many places as possible, in as many different ways as possible, and as often as you possibly can do it. So I just want to make sure that you're able to look at balance, and I'll show you a slide in a second here that kind of explains what that means. I'm told by my assistant here that I'm halfway through the presentation. So do I have any questions at this point? All right, I guess you're all so mesmerized that you can't ask anything. So here's what I was talking about balance of media. This probably doesn't pertain to your business, but this is just an example of where you might want to put your budget dollars. And I'll get to the budgeting in a second, but it's extremely important that you know how much your commitment can be on a monthly basis. Do not go into this thinking, well, if I do this for 2 months, I won't ever have to do it again. This is pretty much a lifelong commitment if you have a business. And I'm often asked the question, how much budget should I set aside for marketing? It's not something that you should just do when you can afford to do it. It's something that you should be doing on a regular basis. And typically, if you're starting off, if you've never really done a formal planned marketing program before, you should consider somewhere between 0.5% and 1% of your gross income going to your marketing efforts. And here are just some of the things that you'll spend money on if you're doing it right. Now, in my opinion, everything that is possibly seen by a customer, including the signs on your truck, the signs that you put in front of a home that you're working on, anything regarding corporate identification, letterhead, business cards, anything at all is considered part of your marketing effort. And some people will even go so far as to say, hey, my receptionist is a marketing expense too, if you have a receptionist, because they are basically your first line of defense or offense when it comes to people understanding your business and the quality of what you put forth in your business. So you could spend $1 million on a marketing program, and then when somebody calls your business and the receptionist answers, yeah, what do you want? Obviously, that is not going to help your efforts, and it will probably make all that other expenditure a big waste of money. So you've got to make sure that number one, everybody in your organization understands the messages that you're trying to get across about quality, about budget, about just the good work that your organization is doing, and make sure that there's some training involved in doing that too. Don't just count on somebody to answer the phone in the right way. They represent you in every possible way, and so that person answering the phone needs to be your best ambassador, as does all the people that go out and do the work in the field for you as well. So again, this is a quick picture of what a budget might look like. Unless you're a publicly traded company, you're probably not going to spend money on analyst relations. But some of these other things you might do some research. Obviously, almost every business these days has a website. Print collateral is still extremely important. Direct marketing is also a vital need. And again, I'm often asked about direct mail because everybody has jumped on the email marketing bandwagon. Well, I'm here to tell you, maybe it's because I'm showing my age, but direct mail is still a very vital part of any marketing effort. And if you think about your own behaviors with regard to direct email and direct mail, you might start to believe me. When we all get tons of email every day, and it's so easy to hit that delete key before you even get a millionth part of that message that's coming to me. Whereas if I get a postcard in the mail, I have no choice but to look at it before I throw it in the garbage can. So even if you're going to throw it away, you still get part of your message across. So I would beg everybody to consider direct mail as part of their marketing mix. Events, trade shows, conferences, other opportunities to sponsor things. Marketing support, collateral, sales pieces, and this shows the largest chunk of budget going to advertising. That is not necessarily true. Every business is different, and every business needs to be analyzed to decide where to best spend your marketing budget. So here's an approach that we use with our clients that can be used for basically any type of business. And the first thing you want to do is identify your business objectives. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? Am I trying to grow by 10% this year? Am I trying to reach customers in a different segment? Do I have a new product that I need to introduce? There's a lot of different things that go into that. And again, you don't need to write a book about your business objectives. If you wrote like 3 lines about what it is that you're trying to accomplish, who it is you're trying to sell to, what have been my successes to date in that particular segment, how do I go about marketing to that particular audience. Define your audiences, segment where necessary. If you have to, you can split that audience into several sections, and every business has audience segments. It's a very rare business that is only selling to one particular audience. Normally you have different products and services that go to different types of people. Formulate appropriate messages. Articulate them. Write them down. Decide what it is that you want to say. Again, this item 3 would be segmented based on the audiences that you define in item 2. Identify communications channels. This involves looking at cost, looking at reach, cost per thousand, how many people can I reach, how many of those people I can expect to turn into conversions or at least good solid leads. Item 5, create budgets and schedules. So what we need to do here is, first of all, establish your monthly threshold. If I'm just starting out, maybe I can spend $1,000 a month on marketing. Maybe I can spend $10,000 a month on marketing. Decide where those budget dollars are going to be spent and decide what my schedule is month by month and plan this out. You've got to put it on a calendar or it's not going to happen. Make sure that when you do budget that you can really afford to do this even when times get a little bit lean. So instead of the maximum amount of money I can spend in a month, I would go for the minimum that I know that I can sustain over a minimum of a 1-year period. Schedule out your activities. Know exactly what you're going to do every month. I'm going to advertise in this. I'm going to have this show during the month of October. In the month of December, I'm going to send out a direct mail piece. You know exactly what you're going to do. Make sure that you have production scheduled in advance. Item 6, produce compelling materials. Sometimes people say, well, I sent out a postcard and I didn't get anything from it. Well, there's a lot of reasons, why that might happen. I have the wrong audience identified. I didn't send out enough. The quality of the piece that I did was not good. The message wasn't accurate. It didn't strike home, create those emotions with those existing customers and your prospective customers. Item 7, manage the process from start to finish. You don't want to just say you're going to do this. It's project management 101. Know exactly when you're going to do something. Make sure that you get it done, and can be committed to doing it every month. Number 8, test your systems. Those systems could be as simple as how somebody answers the phone. If I'm getting leads from a magazine ad or from some other form of marketing, I want to make sure that I'm able to capture those results. So if you do have a receptionist and you get a call from a new customer or even an existing customer, one of the questions that person needs to ask is, how did you hear about us? Did you see our ad? There's obviously ways to code direct mail pieces, if you're especially if you have an offer, 10-15% off this month. If you mention code number 35, make sure that you're capturing those results. Analyze the results that you're getting. How much is it costing me to get a lead? How much is it costing me to actually get a sale? Because a lead, as we all know, does not translate into a sale. So if I need 100 leads to get one sale and the sale is worth $5,000, then I need to know what that cost is per lead and what that incremental sale per lead is. And so just analyze, measure the results, make sure that you can go back and justify the expenses, and then at the end you really need to relook at everything that you're doing, find out what's working, what's not, modify your messages, modify the actual communications itself, the materials. Just keep a track of what is going on, what kind of results you're getting, and where the value is. Okay, we're going to send this to everybody that participated today, but here's basically, when I do a marketing plan for a client, it's usually about 20 pages long. Here's your opportunity to do a one-pager. I really need to look at this document, answer some of these questions, know exactly what it is that you're trying to accomplish, and again, make sure that you build in some kind of measurement results, of measurement of your results, and be prepared to go back and modify those those activities. The end thing here is what marketing weapons do you plan to use? Goes back to how you're going to budget and how you're going to plan those activities on a month-to-month basis. And lastly, I'm sharing this with you. This is a marketing engagement questionnaire that you'll get in the email tomorrow, I imagine. And this will allow you to spend a little bit more time, get engaged with what it is that you're trying to accomplish, and just go through. This is a 5-page document. It will allow you to really think through what it is that you're trying to accomplish, how you're going to accomplish, how you're doing now, what's realistic for your sales objective for the remainder of this year or into 2015, and what's my stretch sales objective. Well, my realistic sales objective is 10%. Your stretch might be, hey, I want to increase business by 15%. So when you go through this questionnaire, it will allow you to really examine what you're doing now and how you might be able to change that to do it better. So again, I'd like to open up to questions and anything at all that anybody might have. We'll give you a couple minutes to compose, and I'll stay on the line for a couple minutes. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that if they have any questions at all, feel free to give me a call, send me an email. I will be happy to spend time with you. I'll come to your business. I'll give you a day of my time at no charge, just to help you examine, maybe go through that questionnaire with you and see what your future looks like.
Okay, well, we're waiting here for any questions that might come in. I just wanted to make sure that you saw there on the screen the contact information for Greg. You'll also be getting the email the next day that'll have the 2 forms that he just showed you on it, and it'll have his contact information there if you need it. And I wanted to thank you for joining us for the Flash webinars. And if you missed any part of this or any of the other ones and you wanted to take a look at them, you can join us at our group site. It's the BBB Toolbox, and there are recordings of all the Flash webinars and the slides and any of the documents there for you to take a look at. Of course, that connection will be in your email that will come to you also. And of course, you're always welcome to email me at bridget@cleveland.bbb.org or give us a call here at the office, 216-623-8964 at extension 206. We'd love to hear any feedback or questions or any information that you might have. Now let's see if we can take a look here and see what we've got for some questions.